Hey friends, this is a really sad, sappy song. It's a soundtrack record. I was going to use Fantasia for this, but I needed a record that had really strong delineation between the songs so I could demonstrate this guy here. If I hit this button twice, it's going to pick up. It's going to go back over here and go back to the beginning of the song. And it's going to find two songs in, and then it's going to drop. Isn't that awesome? This is like CDs before CDs. CDs. So this is a Technics SL-J2, and Technics made a bunch of turntables in this style. So it's really easy to, if you're trying to visually identify one, they're this big. They're as big as a record jacket, which is really cool, right? Pretty handy. They're nice and small. They don't take up a lot of space because they're nice and small. Did I mention that they're small? They made a vertical one of these too. Look back a couple of videos, I have one there. If you have one of these that's not operating correctly, like it's not even moving the tone arm, that is going to be your belt, and your belt is sitting right here. To actually remove, let's lift the tone arm so I can turn it to the side here. These little things here, right? These little, I guess, pimples, I guess, lack of a better term, right? It's these little things here. Anyway, so the little plastic piece is going to come out, and it's going to look like a little tack. Don't lose these. They're not easy to come by, and the replacements are fairly expensive, and you got to wait. So don't lose them. Just don't lose them. For what they are, they're expensive. All right, so you pull this out, and then there's another little plastic piece that you need to pull on too. Don't use pliers. Don't use a screwdriver. Don't use anything. If you can't get it, go buy a little car interior kit. It will come with a little pair of a little wedge that you can put in there and get in there. You don't want to use metal on this. It'll scratch it up. It'll make it look all gnarly, and there's, you know, every day there's fewer and fewer of these out there, and they're awesome. All right, two here, and this plate comes off. Dust cover comes off. It exposes everything you need to work on. There's going to be a black metal rail that runs along here. It's probably going to have a lot of goop on it. Go ahead and clean that goop off and put a new belt on there. Now, when we talk about belts and we talk about turntables and cassette decks, usually we're talking about a drive belt, something that impacts the sound, the speed of the record, or the speed of the cassette. And in this case, this isn't determining any type of speed of the actual item making the sound, like the cassette or the record. So you can actually get away, and I'm going to probably get flack for this, you can get away with using a rubber band in there if you're in a pinch. Rubber bands aren't going to last as long. You do want to get a belt, you know, using a little red rubber band can get you by while you got a belt on order. So the maintenance, stupid easy, super easy. This does have a P-mount cartridge, so it's really easy to change the cartridge out. On this particular one, I can't remember what I put in here, but it's an Auto-Technica, and it does have a relatively new stylus. So anyways, it's just a little screw. You unscrew here, and the cartridge pops right out, and you can pop a new one in, so you can change the entire dynamics of the way that this behaves. The others in this series that look like this they're going to be a little bit different. So the SL dash, and then you're going to have a number like a 5 or a 7, whatever. They're going to have kind of a little chunky chunk on this side, and then this side is going to be a little bit more bare than this. And to work on those, you actually have to remove this chunk and the top to get access to everything you need access to. So you could just remove the top, but it's just the bottom piece just snaps right out. There is one of these little pimple type plug things underneath here on those. So On this particular unit, I picked this up off Facebook Marketplace. A gentleman who had 3 or 4 of them. I have ended up keeping one of these because I fall in love with them every time, and then I let them all go, and I'm just fed up with it. I'm just going to keep one. Okay. This particular one has it says Technics over here, right, and then it has this, and then it has this. It actually should say Quartz Tracking over here, but somebody had removed that little icon that was over here. And so I had a Technics turntable that was sitting around that had the Technics thing on it. So I just tore it off of that and put this on there. And so it doesn't look bare anymore. If somebody's looking at it, they're not, and they don't know, especially if they don't know, they're not going to notice anything about it. It's just going to look like Technics is on there twice. But somebody may catch that. I don't know. If you have one of these that's not operating correctly, like you are hitting the play button and it moves into play position but it won't drop, it's because you have the settings right here on these switches incorrect. You do want it on auto, none of this manual stuff. So if you have it set to manual, then it's expecting you to do everything manually. So just if you have misbehavior, that's one of the things. These turntables, the Technics turntables, are always missing their ground. And let me show you a little secret here. These banana plugs that you usually use for your speakers fit right into the ground plug for these things. So if you're missing your ground plug, that's how you can deal with it. The banana plugs are, you can pick them up at Lowe's or Home Depot, or anywhere that sells speaker wire usually has banana plugs. And you just need one banana plug. They're like $1.99 usually for a 2-pack. Amazon, of course, has them, but you know, why wait when you can just go around the corner and get one? So that covers your ground, and then you just run any kind of wire you want. This one is just going to include that because there's not a ground wire, but the banana plug works excellent. There's no feedback there. Max out the volume. All right, so let's go ahead and play, and let's listen to some. Here, I'm just going to navigate to the raise the tone arm. Oh, I accidentally hit it twice. I'm very used to the manual mode on these, so I just moved it in 2 songs on complete accident, on purpose. It was on purpose. Let's just go with that. So while we're listening to this, this turntable is kind of rough. The cover does have dinks and scratches in it. It's like definitely not mint, but it's very, very, very functional. So there you go. And it still has those little rubber boots on the side. So usually if you find these and the rubber boots are like really, really bad shape, like they just fall apart and they crumble in your hands, chances are it was stored outdoors and was exposed to heat and cold. When you find these and these are nice and pliable, that's usually a really, really good sign that they were stored indoors, maybe in a basement or what have you. So somewhere indoors, temperature controlled. It's good. It's a big plus. Okay, that's all I have to say about these. If you've had one of these or you've had a similar model and you like them, put in the comments what you liked most about it. Myself, I love the just lift, pull out, go to the next record. That's like my favorite feature. The sound is absolutely phenomenal out of these. But it all does depend on what cartridge you have on there. Not all, but you know what I mean. It's highly dependent on the cartridge that you put in there. But I have one sitting in my other room that has a crap cartridge in it, and it still sounds really good. So, with that, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, have a good evening, day, morning, whatever time it is where you are.